Ain't that nigga out here raping everybody? God damn. Me, but not as life-changing as Craig Mack almost killing Diddy. I mean, you Craig Mack, nigga, you tell me why you was finna kill Puff. A night of great slip and slidedom. It was a night of great slip and slidedom.
They say Orlando Brown would say anything for attention, but what he drops here is too wild to ignore. First, he claims Craig Mack almost killed Diddy. Then, in the same breath, he describes a baby oil-soaked night that sounds like it came straight from an FBI raid report.
Me, but not as life-changing as Craig Mack almost killing Diddy. I mean, you Craig Mack, nigga, you tell me why you was finna kill Puff.
I'm not Craig Mack.
Nigga, you lying. Lying like a mother. You mean to tell me Jay-Z ain't Craig Mack? You a liar, Kaz. On Pyro, you lying.
What the?
Yeah, nigga. Yeah. And you did kill Diddy, nigga. And that's why he all in this situation. Nigga, you fuck Diddy, Kaz. You did it, Kaz. You the one did it.
Diddy gave you oosh-squash.
Man, it was a night of great slip and slidedom. It was a night of great slip and slidedom. Okay?
A lot of baby oil.
No. A lot of spit. A lot of spit where I come from, brother. A lot of spit. I'm trying to teach you niggas some shit. Long time ago. Okay? Yeah, it was a lot. He was slipping on my tongue. He was like this, slipping and sliding.
And if you think that is the craziest thing he says, wait until we get to the part where he swears there are two Diddys, and only one of them is the man the public knows. Orlando Brown has been going viral for years, sometimes for bizarre rants, other times for allegations so wild you dismiss them instantly. But over time, some of those crazy claims have matched up in pieces with real events. That's why when he talks about Diddy, people are torn between laughing it off and wondering if he's letting secrets slip. Meanwhile, Sean Diddy Combs isn't just facing internet gossip. He's a convicted felon under the Mann Act, accused in multiple lawsuits of sex trafficking, racketeering, and orchestrating events nicknamed freakoffs. The BBC timeline in the court files shows his fall, celebrating with A-listers in 2022. Then by 2024, federal agents raiding his LA and Miami mansions, seizing over 1,000 bottles of baby oil, firearms, and dozens of hard drives. By early 2025, he's facing both prison time and an avalanche of civil suits. Brown's interview doesn't just mention these elements. It dives into them in language that mirrors allegations from those same case files. And before it's over, he'll name numbers, describe acts, and paint scenes that sound ripped from sworn testimony. Before we even get to the freak-offs, the baby oil, or the two Diddys, Orlando starts with a story that sounds like it belongs in a Bad Boy Records expose, not an off-the-cuff interview.
Me, but not as life-changing as Craig Mack almost killing Diddy. I mean, you Craig Mack, nigga, you tell me why you was finna kill Puff.
I'm not Craig Mack.
Nigga, you lying. Lying like a mother. You mean to tell me Jay-Z ain't Craig Mack? You a liar, Kaz. On Pyro, you lying.
What the?
Yeah, nigga. Yeah. And you did kill Diddy, nigga. And that's why he all in this situation. Nigga, you fuck Diddy, Kaz. You did it, Kaz. You the one did it.
Craig Mack was the first artist signed to Bad Boy, the label Diddy built his empire on. He had the breakout hit, Flavor in Your Ear, in 1994, a song that helped launch Bad Boy into the spotlight alongside the notorious B.I.G. But while Biggie's career exploded, Mack's faded, and over the years, rumors have swirled about tension between him and Diddy. Some insiders have hinted that Mack felt pushed aside in favor of Biggie, while others suggested he simply didn't fit Diddy's long-term plans. In reality, Craig Mack left the industry almost entirely, later joining a Christian ministry in South Carolina. Nothing in the public record ever suggested he tried to harm Diddy. But Orlando says it with a straight face, as if it's common knowledge, adding the punch that Mack is the real reason Diddy is in this situation. Why would he make a claim like that? Maybe it's an exaggeration. Maybe it's coded language. Or maybe it's the way Orlando processes the Bad Boy legacy, one where loyalty, betrayal, and sudden downfalls have always been part of the story. And if he's willing to start there, what's coming next is bound to be even stranger. Right after accusing Craig Mack of almost killing Diddy, Orlando shifts gears. And the direction he takes is about as far from a murder plot as you can get.
Diddy gave you ooh-squash.
Man, it was a night of great slip and slidedom. It was a night of great slip and slidedom. Okay?
A lot of baby oil.
No. A lot of spit. A lot of spit where I come from, brother. A lot of spit. I'm trying to teach you some shit. Long time ago, okay? Yeah, it was a lot. He was slipping on my tongue. He's like this, slipping and sliding.
It's weird, it's graphic, and it's dripping with Orlando's usual mix of slang and innuendo. But here's where things get interesting, because once you strip away the strange delivery, the core of what he's describing matches elements buried deep in the court record. In multiple lawsuits, women have described Diddy hosting private events where the floors were slick with baby oil, the lights were low, and the rules were unspoken. These weren't the kind of parties with Instagram posts and paparazzi at the door. They were controlled environments, invite only, no cameras, and no one allowed in unless Diddy approved. According to seized evidence detailed in the raid reports, federal agents collected over 1,000 bottles of baby oil from his properties, along with sex toys, designer drugs, and devices used to record and possibly blackmail participants. In legal filings, one accuser referred to these gatherings as freakoffs. In Orlando's world, they become ooh squash, a phrase that sounds ridiculous until you compare it to the eerily similar setup described in sworn testimony. The overlap is what makes people pause. Yes, Orlando is known for embellishing. Yes, he's prone to sudden, bizarre tangents. But the way he paints this scene, slippery, intimate, secret, isn't far from what lawyers are now arguing in federal court. And whether it's intentional or not, he's reinforcing one of the most damaging narratives against Diddy. From here, you'd expect him to double down on the scandal. Instead, he detours again, into a cryptic claim about knowing the real Puff. Just as the conversation seems locked on the freak-offs, Orlando drops a line that sounds like it belongs in a conspiracy forum.
See, y'all call him Diddy. I know who the real Puff is. Y'all not talking about my Puff.
To most people, Puff and Diddy are just two of the many stage names Sean Combs has used over his career. But the way Orlando says it, like they're two entirely different people, adds a layer of mystery. It's not the first time someone has described a celebrity in terms of split personalities. Prosecutors in Diddy's case have done something similar, painting a picture of a public-facing mogul who wins awards, funds charities, and takes photos with presidents. And a private figure who, according to sworn statements, uses his power and influence to manipulate, exploit, and control. In other words, two Diddys isn't just an Orlando Brown punchline. It's a concept that already exists in the case narrative, even if nobody calls it that in court. When the host follows up, they don't ask him to explain what he means. They ask something sharper, a question that goes to the heart of what people suspect about anyone who's ever been close to Diddy.
Do you fear your name could possibly come up in this whole Diddy case?
It's the kind of question most people would avoid or shut down instantly. But Orlando doesn't say no, and he doesn't say yes. Instead, he changes the angle entirely, shifting the conversation away from fear and toward loyalty. That pivot is classic Orlando. Sidestep the direct danger and lean into a personal narrative. And in doing so, he tees up one of the most unexpected contradictions in the entire interview.
I know Diddy. That's, like I've been saying, that's my friend. And you know, I don't condone a lot of stuff, and you know, he's apologized for a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not finna be no front man, you know what I'm saying? And I don't think everybody should act like they a front man either. Like Ray J and all these other people like trying to act like they really care, and they really, oh, this is devastating and all. Knock it off, bro. Like, knock it off, man. Knock it off, bro. Just, you do your bit in life. Get your shit right. Don't try to stand, you know, a wave or it seem like you have something to do with or a lot to do with. You're not Stevie J, my nigga. Like, you're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what's really going on. So just shut the f up. You know what I'm saying? And be cool. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of annoying motherfuckers jumping around on the internet, man. Like screaming puff, 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 man. You know, and that shit is annoying, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now they hitting them with a lot of shit, bro. But I just see it like this, man. You know, I accept people for who they truly are. I don't know him. I didn't meet him as a monster. I met him as an angel.
Just minutes earlier, Orlando painted a picture of slippery floors, baby oil, and private encounters that could ruin a man's career. Now, he's calling the same man an angel. It's a sharp turn, but it's not unique to Orlando. The PDF lays out a pattern seen throughout Diddy's career. People close to him defending his character, even when they acknowledge dark stories circulating behind the scenes. Some former employees described him as demanding but generous, a visionary who opened doors for black entrepreneurs, or simply a good friend. Even Cassie Ventura, whose 2023 lawsuit helped trigger the wave of cases against him, said in early interviews during their relationship that Diddy was supportive and a mentor. That duality, angel to some, monster to others, is part of why his legal battle is so polarizing. And in Orlando's case, the defense is personal. He's not talking about a distant celebrity he's seen on TV. He's talking about someone he spent time with, someone whose real puff is different from the headlines. But even as he praises him, Orlando can't help slipping in a frustration with the way the internet has latched on to Diddy's name.
It's a lot of annoying motherfuckers jumping around on the internet, man. They screaming puff, 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 man. You know, and that shit's annoying, bro.
It's an odd complaint, because that public fixation is exactly what's fueled the avalanche of coverage, and by extension, given Orlando a platform to share his stories. And whether he realizes it or not, the next thing he says about Diddy's parties will only add fuel to that fire.
I didn't know it was a Diddy party. You know what I'm saying? Hey, because it wasn't like no Diddy party. The best parties are not somebody's party. You never know. You never know. Like, unless it's the night of BET Awards, the AMAs, the Grammys, and they want you to know that they're throwing the party, then that's cool. But the best parties, you don't know who's throwing them. Ooh, that part. Like, you know what I mean? Like, unless they want to be way out, you know? Yeah, and be like, yeah, I threw the party. Like, yeah, you threw the party, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But the best ones, bro, you pull up, you get escorted. You don't know who's throwing the party. You're just having a great time. And then you get like a text later the next day or whatever from somebody like, oh, this person's party, or it was that person's party. You never know when you go to the party.
Cause I seen Tyrese say that he'd been to Diddy parties, but he never went to the after party.
Man, that's a lot of fucking in them after parties he be throwing. That's a lot of fucking. Jalil, I told you, it's two Diddys.
Two Diddys. To someone unfamiliar with the allegations, it might sound like just another Orlando Brown joke. But for anyone who's read the legal filings, the concept feels uncomfortably familiar. Prosecutors have spent months building a narrative of a public Diddy and a private Diddy. The public version is a mogul who donates millions, launches charities, and partners with Fortune 500 brands. The private version, according to multiple accusers, is a man who orchestrates secretive after-parties, not in clubs, but in luxury suites, hidden villas, or behind closed doors in his own homes. The PDF's party descriptions match the structure Orlando hints at. Guest lists made up of celebrities, models, and hand-picked plus ones. Confiscated phones at the door. Security posted at entrances to keep uninvited guests out. A mix of alcohol, designer drugs, and what court filings call intimate entertainment. And then there's the most damning detail. These gatherings weren't always just about partying. Some victims claimed they were pressured into acts they didn't consent to, or were too intoxicated to stop. Others alleged cameras were present, and the footage was used as leverage later. Orlando never goes that deep here, but the phrase, two Diddys, captures the heart of the prosecution's image problem for Combs, a man the public thinks they know, and a man who exists in shadows. And then, in the middle of this split persona conversation, he drops another line, this one a lot more personal.
No, not everybody, because, no, let me tell you why. Not everybody is his son. Like, why the f*** he got so mad at that shit? That nigga had to sit down and do me like everybody else, I guess.
It's cryptic. Is it about respect, a business meeting, or is it a reference to the same kind of initiation some accusers have claimed happened at these events? Coming from anyone else, you might dismiss it. Coming from Orlando, in the middle of a conversation about secret parties, it lands differently.
120 people plan to come out including a 9-year-old kid.
It's one of the most jarring numbers in the entire interview, 120 people. And then there's the detail that makes it even more disturbing, a 9-year-old. Now that number hasn't been confirmed by prosecutors or court documents, but the PDF breaks down what's already public. At least 9 separate civil lawsuits have been filed against Diddy in the past 3 years, each containing multiple named and unnamed accusers. Media outlets like The Guardian and BBC have reported dozens of potential victims. And insiders quoted in the court coverage suggest that the true number could be far higher than what's been filed so far. Some cases involve adult women alleging coercion and assault. Others, the most serious, involve claims of minors being groomed or trafficked. Federal raids have already uncovered physical evidence, seized devices, hard drives, and security camera footage that prosecutors believe contain proof of these events. So while Orlando's 120 might be an inflated figure, it's not coming from nowhere. It plays into the narrative that we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg, and that a wave of new allegations could still be on the way. This kind of setup is why the interview works as more than just shock entertainment. It creates a space where outrageous numbers sound possible, because the surrounding facts are already so severe. And just when you're wondering if he's going to back off, he delivers the line that was teased all the way back in the intro.
Ain't that out here raping everybody? God damn!
It's the bluntest moment in the entire interview. No innuendo, no metaphor, just a direct accusation. And in the context of the federal and civil cases against Diddy, it's a statement that mirrors the exact language used in sworn complaints. In the PDF's breakdown of the Mann Act convictions, several plaintiffs describe sexual assaults that took place during Diddy-hosted gatherings. Some accounts describe being given drinks or substances that left them incapacitated, only to wake up and realize they've been assaulted. Others say they were lured under the pretense of business meetings, only for the situation to turn into something entirely different once the doors were closed. Prosecutors have used these allegations to build a picture of what they call a pattern of predatory conduct, behavior that wasn't a one-time lapse in judgment, but part of a sustained lifestyle over decades. And Orlando's comment, whether rooted in first-hand knowledge or hearsay, aligns so closely with the accusations that it's impossible to ignore. From here, the conversation widens again, not to clear Diddy's name, but to frame him as just one figure in a much larger web of corruption and exploitation.
So many people have done things like everybody they're stuck on Diddy. What about the Muslim nation? They've been little girls and killing people for years. Why y'all not taking down why you not taking down that? You focused on one guy.
For Orlando, the problem isn't that Diddy is being investigated. It's that the spotlight seems to be fixed on him alone. He hints at something bigger, that the same behavior Diddy is accused of runs deeper in the entertainment world across multiple industries, and that the public is seeing just one high-profile example. The PDF's industry complicity section lays this out in stark detail. Several insiders quoted in investigative pieces have suggested that these so-called freakoffs, or variations of them, have been hosted by other executives, artists, and even film producers. The locations change, the names change, but the formula stays the same. Controlled guest lists, security at every exit, and an unspoken agreement that what happens inside stays inside. Some victims have even drawn parallels between events they attended for Diddy and similar ones linked to other powerful figures, describing the same mix of intimidation, intoxication, and isolation from the outside world. It's why cases like this have ripple effects. Every new headline makes other people in similar positions nervous, wondering if they'll be next in the firing line. Orlando doesn't name names here, but his frustration is clear. If the industry is a corrupt system, taking down one man doesn't dismantle it. And that's the subtext that makes his next observation about corporate fallout even sharper.
Do you find it crazy that all the CEOs are stepping down after Diddy has been arrested? Or is it a coincidence?
I think it's crazy.
When federal agents raided Diddy's homes, the shockwaves didn't stop at his inner circle. Boardrooms and music, fashion, and entertainment started moving quietly. CEOs announcing sudden resignations, senior executives retiring early, entire boards shifting leadership in a matter of weeks. On paper, these were unrelated events. The official reasons were health, family, or a desire to pursue personal projects. But the timing told a different story. The PDF lists multiple high-level resignations that happened within 60 days of the raids, many from companies with direct or indirect partnerships with Diddy over the past 2 decades. The logic was simple: distance yourself before the subpoenas start flying. The same pattern happened in other high-profile scandals. Once a central figure is in legal freefall, anyone who's done business with them, partied with them, or been seen in the wrong photo starts to evaluate their exit strategy. Orlando calls it crazy, but the subtext is obvious. In an industry built on image, even a whiff of association can sink a career.
Have you been to a Diddy party?
I've probably been to one, but I didn't know it was a Diddy party. It wasn't like no Diddy party. The best parties are not somebody's party. You never know.
It's a light-sounding question on the surface. Have you been to a Diddy party? But by this point in the interview, party doesn't mean a nightclub with a DJ and champagne bottles. It's become a loaded word, shorthand for the closed-door gatherings described in lawsuits and search warrants. The PDF's evidence list makes it clear. These events were meticulously planned. Security, secrecy, and selection were everything. The guest list wasn't just curated, it was vetted. And once inside, guests entered a world where the usual rules didn't apply, and saying no wasn't always an option. Orlando's casual delivery almost softens the weight of that reality. But in the arc of this interview, it's the perfect bookend, starting with an outrageous claim, weaving through bizarre slang and personal loyalty, and ending right back at the environment that prosecutors say defines Diddy's private life. In less than 2 hours, Orlando Brown manages to be friend, critic, witness, and provocateur all at once. He says things no one else will say out loud, and while half the audience laughs, the other half can't shake the feeling that there's more truth here than they want to admit. Because if this is what he's willing to say on camera, what's he keeping for when the cameras are off?